The Bell Witch. It doesn't want to kill you. It wants you to stay. Prologue. Do not listen alone. If you're listening to this story at night, and the room around you feels too quiet, turn on another sound. Any sound at all. Because there are stories that do not like being heard in silence. Chapter 1. The land already had an owner. Before the Bell family arrived, this land was not unnamed. It once had another name, a name no one dares to speak anymore. The nearby native tribes believed this forest was a place where the boundary between here and not here was dangerously thin. Not a burial ground, not a place of death, but a place where something wandered out of its world and never found its way back. Chapter 2. The day they arrived, the forest looked back. On the day the Bells began building their home, there was no wind, and yet the treetops moved. Not together, one by one, as if the forest were slowly tilting its head to observe them. One worker dropped his axe and said he saw a figure standing deep in the woods, facing the wrong direction. When he pointed, it was gone. Chapter 3. The first night. The house learned how to breathe. That first night, Elizabeth Bell woke with a terrifying sensation. The house was expanding and contracting. Not violently, but gently, like a chest rising and falling. The walls creaked. The ceiling seemed to dip, then return. And in that moment, she heard a breath that did not belong to anyone in the house. Chapter 4. The thing with no form, but with weight. John Bell began to feel that something stood very close to him at night. It didn't touch him. It didn't speak. It simply occupied space. The floorboards sank slightly. The bed tilted. When he lit a candle, everything looked normal. But the feeling of being displaced never left. Chapter 5. The knocking that does not measure time. The knocking returned. Not by the hour, not by pattern, but by alertness. When someone drifted toward sleep, the knocking intensified. When someone stayed awake, it fell silent, as if something refused to let them rest at the same time. Chapter 6. Betsy and the First Strike. That night, everyone was awake. Everyone saw it. Betsy stood in the center of the room. Suddenly, her head snapped violently to the side. A sharp crack echoed. No one was near her. Betsy screamed. And a soft voice laughed. I don't like that look. Chapter 7. It touches in different ways. The entity didn't always use violence. Sometimes, it slowly stroked hair. Sometimes, it rested a hand on a shoulder during prayer. Sometimes, it whispered words so quietly you weren't sure you'd heard them. You are not safe. Chapter 8. the voice begins to change. At first, the voice was neutral. Then, it began to imitate. Elizabeth's voice, John's voice, the voices of relatives long dead. One night, Betsy heard her own voice from the corner of the room. "It's standing behind you." She turned. Nothing. The voice whispered beside her ear, "You turn quickly." Chapter 9. The body is no longer private property. John Bell began to lose control of his body. His hands curled on their own. His lips moved without sound. Not convulsions, but precise control. The voice said, "I'm learning how to use you." Chapter 10. The bottle that was always there. No one remembered when the bottle first appeared. It had always been on the shelf. But when they finally noticed, the dark liquid inside was slowly disappearing. John said he wasn't drinking it. The voice laughed softly. "You don't need to remember." Chapter 11. The night John Bell did not wake up. That night, John Bell opened his eyes. He could see everything, but he could not move. The voice was very close. "Don't struggle. I'm holding you." His body shut down, piece by piece. No pain, just his right to exist being taken away. Chapter 12. The funeral and the laughter inside the coffin. At the funeral, as everyone bowed their heads, laughter came from inside the coffin. Not screaming, not shouting, just a sound of deep satisfaction. The voice said, "He's staying with me." Chapter 13. The cave that hates turning around. After that, the entity withdrew into a cave deep in the forest. Those who entered said they all felt the same thing. Do not turn around. Not because of fear, but because of a very clear certainty that if you turn around, it will take one step closer. Chapter 14. A promise without an expiration date. Before the voice faded, it said, "I will sleep, but I hear you telling my story. And every time you do, I learn a new voice." Epilogue. It is here. If you've listened this far, and the room around you feels slightly smaller than when you began, don't worry. The Bell Witch doesn't need to kill you. It only needs to know that you stayed until the end.